F. Makes sense.
Be all right. I'll call the timing. Go!
It's a bit marked obsolete. Oh boy, it's about...
Galen Urso, I want every...
Stormtroopers in our path. We will make...
Standing by.
Commanders immediately. All fit to Scarab. Might be with you.
Status. Mike, we need numbers.
Pad 14, what's going on down there?
Fire, Pad 12, Pad 14, request assistance.
Get on there, tell them pinned down by rebels on pad 5.
Famine report. This is not working, Kay. Hey! What? Run!
Admiral, this is...
Blue leader standing...
Big line.
Sir, there's a fleet. It's amassing outside the shield.
And close the shield.
Do it!
Get to the surface before they close that...
We won't have long.
Close it!
Rebel fleet has arrived.
What?
Close the shield gate.
What does that mean?
We could transmit the plans to the Rebel fleet data files. That's the problem. They'll never get...
Bodhi, can you hear me? Bodhi!
Oh, we're standing by.
They've started fighting the bases.
Opening the shield gate so we can transmit the plans.
Get in!
It's the only way we're getting them out.
You'll need this.
Your behavior, Jyn Erso.
Fire on my command!
Get ready, we're gonna have to go out there. Close the shield gate. We're stuck here. Let them know that we're trapped down here. Have to get on the radio, get one of the guys out there to find... Duncan!
Unknown, sir. We can't raise them.
Listen, let's start probing that shield.
Bank, Data Tower 2.
You'll need to use the handles for extraction. The rebels! They were... Ah, well.
Red leader, this is gold leader.
Form out, 6-5. Bodhi sent a signal from here.
There's a master switch.
At the base of the con tower.
Switch. Where is it?
U-wings...
We're having no effect.
Stick close, Red 5. Where are you?
Red 5! I need help!
Hyperspace track.
Nearing. Open that one.
Names. Stellar Sphere. War mantle. Stardust. I know because it's me.
Okay, we need...
Stardust! Climb!
If they open the shield gate, you can...
Okay!
Unauthorized access at the data vault.
Beats under control.
Shuttle. It's in the plant.
I'm tied in at my end.
It's out there that I can't.
You okay?
I'm one with with me. I'm one with the force. The force is. I'm one with the force, and the force is with me.
Yes.
It's okay. You'll be always fine.
One with the Force. Loves us with me.
There's no turning back now. We have to press. That Star Destroyer's disabled.
Communications tower. You have to take down the shield gate.
An idea.
Stand by, Rope.
Antenna alignment. Antenna alignment.
Full power.
Antenna alignment.
You've lost. He put a fuse in the middle of your machine.
Your signal will never. Time. You, on the other.
Transmitting.
Admiral, receiving transmission from.
Transmission received.
Admiral, we
You think anybody's listening?
It's out there.
Begin targeting their fleet.
Lord Vader will handle this.
Flagship is disabled, my lord. But yes, my lord.
Gotta go now! Stop!
What is it they've sent us?
Welcome to DP Action Channel. Please subscribe and press the bell icon. The story: the Old Republic is no more, the Jedi have fallen, and the Imperial might of the Empire rules the galaxy. Galen Erso, Mads Mikkelsen, a scientist who turned his back and served his connection to the Empire, finds his peaceful farming life abruptly cut short when Orson Krennic, Ben Mendelsohn, director of advanced weapons research for the Imperial military, finds him, demanding that he complete his own work on the Death Star, which is being constructed under the supervision eyes of Governor Tarkin. Agreeing to this, Galen leaves behind his young daughter Jean Felicity Jones and is adopted by the extremist Saw Gerrera Forrest Whitaker, who raises her to be a fighter. Years later, a rebel spy named Cassian Andor Diego Luna is tasked by the Rebel Alliance's leader Mon Mothma Genevieve O'Reilly to find Galen, tracking news that the Imperial pilot Badi-Rook Riz Ahmed has brought a secret message to Saw, detailing Galen's work to build fatal flaw in the Empire's newest weapon, which is nearly completion. Breaking Jean out of prison, Cassian and the robot K2SO Alan Tudyk hope to find the missing scientist, but end up partaking in an elaborate and dangerous plan of a rogue squadron of rebels, which includes Badi as well as a blind monk Chirutim Donnie Yen, and the warrior Baze Malbus Wenjang. With the fate of the galaxy in their hands, Jean and this small band of rebels eventually becomes aware that it's up to them to infiltrate an Imperial outpost and steal Galen's Death Star's data before the Empire figures out their plan. The good/the bad: I'm not super huge nerd fan of Star Wars, but maybe I'm like a conservative nerd fan of it. I don't outwardly show it with wearing fan apparel, going to Star Wars conventions, or collecting collectible posters/trinkets, that is the infamous Darth Vader waffle maker, the Yoda cookie jar, or the Chewbacca coffee mug, etc. If you are one of these fans, then great. Good for you. More power to you for being a dedicated fan, but it's just not me. However, that being said, I'm very interested in Star Wars universe. Yes, I do love the core episode movies, but I do like how the franchise is expanding beyond them, branching out to explore many different avenues within this sci-fi universe. Basically, it's built upon the Star Wars mythos, introducing us, the viewer, to many wondrous tales, exciting adventures, and creative characters that populate the galaxy, and presenting them in unique mediums such as books, video games, and graphic novels. Yes, I do have mentioned that still love playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PS2, such a great game. In addition, I've seen some of the animated shows Star Wars, Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. I'm just starting Season 2 of Rebels, and I've only read one of the Star Wars books, Aftermath, Star Wars, Journey to the Force Awakens, and I did like, so I might have to check out a couple more when I have free time. I'm a bit backed up on my reading list currently. Of course, like many out there, I remember hearing that the news when Disney bought Star Wars Lucasfilms and that they were going to do movies beyond the episode features. A sort of spin-off theatrical films. To be honest, I was a bit skeptical about this notion. I mean, the initial announcement details for Rouge One, a Star Wars story, was interesting. That is what the film was going to be about, but I had my reservations, believing that it was just a way for Disney to cash in on the success of such an illustrious and beloved franchise to many. However, after seeing several trailers for the movie, my lingering doubts faded away and inner fanboy anticipation began to rise. With so much heightened promotion for the film and excitement building for most of the 2016 year, the expectations level for Rogue One were unprecedented to deliver the first entertaining theatrical spin-off Star Wars movie. Well, what did I think of it? Was it worth the hype and anticipation? Most definitely. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, is incredible, awesome, and a must for both casual/die-hard fans to the Star Wars universe. Rouge One is directed by Gareth Edwards, who's previously directed such films as Monsters and the recent 2014 Godzilla remake. Given the film's budget of roughly $200 million and with so much anticipation for this movie to deliver, Rogue One represents. The cast in Rogue One is another one of the film's strengths, with a very likable group that's easy to invest in without extra baggage that is building up / saving character moments up to be carried on in another film, like in the episode. Features actress Felicity Jones, known for her roles in The Theory of Everything, Inferno, and the upcoming film A Monster Calls, plays Jean Erso, the somewhat main protagonist in the movie. Jones holds her own as Jean, tough, young and determined woman who is haunted by a traumatic childhood past, providing a strong character who works well for the film's main storyline as well as other nuances to the movie. Plus, it's nice to see a female hero character similar to Princess Leia from the original trilogy take center stage and actively participate in the film's action scenes. Behind Jones as Jean is actor Diego Luna, who plays the rebel Captain Acion. Luna, known for his roles in Milk, Acion, and The Book of Life, plays Acion with a mixture of a steely determination and unease, as we see the rebel captain conflicted with some of the actions he must face. He's not your typical male lead character, which makes Luna's Acion very intriguing. I kind of hope that they make a novelization on his character's backstory. Now that would be something quite interesting to read about. The rest of the Rogue One crew delivers solid performances from the actors who portray them, but are, more or less, one-dimensional, which, given the amount of new characters in this one-and-done type spin-off movie, is not a bad thing and pretty understandable. Each one is given a moment to shine on screen and brings their own inherent charm to their respective characters. Donnie Yen and Wen Zhang are both terrific as the blind monk Chiru Tim and the heavy blaster-toting warrior Baze Malbaz. The pair have great chemistry and some funny banter, while Riz Ahmed plays the twitchy, yet likable defector Imperial pilot Bodhi Rook. Lastly, as supporting side characters, actors Mads Mikkelsen and Forrest Whitaker plays the Imperial weapon designer Galen Erso, Jean's father, and Saw Gerrera, an extremist character, who's veteran of the Clone Wars, and who has appeared in several Star Wars side projects. In respect, both Mikkelsen and Whitaker do a good job in their roles. While the main heroes of Rogue One are strong and, like I said above, very likable and charismatic, the true standout role of the group is K2SO, a reprogrammed Imperial droid who works with Acion. In a sense, this character is somewhat of a distant cousin to C-3PO, channeling the same amount of analytically statistics, but with splash of dark humor and more blunt approach. Voiced by Alan Tudyk, who voices the character wonderfully, brings a lot of comic relief to the movie and a very endearing and probably one of the most memorable characters in all of Rogue One. In the villain category, actor Ben Mendelsohn plays Rogue One's main antagonist, Director Orson Krennic. While he's no Darth Maul, General Grievous, or Boba Fett, Mendelsohn's Krennic is great with a wonderful smarmy attitude, capturing that somewhat classic Imperial portrayal and works for what the films needs him to be. Of course, one of the most talked things in Rogue One is the appearance of Darth Vader himself, voiced once again by the legendary James Earl Jones. While his screen time is kept to a minimal, acting more like a cameo appearance in Rogue One, his inclusion in this movie is a great and definitely adds to his character's mythos to the franchise in some dramatic and chilling ways. Thus, don't expect Vader to being the central villain in Rogue One. Personally, I totally geeked out when I saw the character once again on screen, even if it was for a short time. Super awesome. This, of course, leads into all the numerous Easter eggs/references that are scattered across Rogue One. With the story tying into the start of A New Hope, many familiar characters make small/cameo-like appearance, including Jimmy Smith's return as Bail Organa, a nice tie-in nod to the prequel trilogy saga, and Genevieve O'Reilly, Rebel Alliance leader Mon Mothma, who previously played the character in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, but her scenes were cut from the final version of the film. There are a few others out in the movie as well, dialogue lines and references, but I won't spoil it for you guys. Just be on the lookout for them. Of course, even with my high praise for this movie, I do have a few minor nitpicks for Rogue One that I must address. While I did mention that the overall characterization for most of the Rogue One crew are not exactly well-rounded, some of the important reasons behind their motivation for joining the team is glossed over, most notably in Bodhi's motivation on why he, an Imperial pilot, defected to the Rebels' side. It's mentioned briefly and somewhat glossed over, Then there's one particular character from episode IV, A New Hope, that makes an appearance in Rogue One. I'm not going to spoil who it is, so let's call him Character X. While Character X's inclusion in the movie is neat and adds to the continuity to where Rogue One stands in the official Star Wars timeline, his appearance was created via digital effects and, unfortunately, doesn't hold up. While I do applaud the visual effect team for creating a detailed digital copy of this character, like I said, it was pretty cool to see Character X again, but this animated rendering of Character X seems off, especially in his facial expression, when paired up against real-life actors, which can be a bit distracting on screen. Maybe they could have found an actor who looked like Character X to fill the role, instead of choosing a very obvious CG-rendered recreation for him. I don't know. I guess maybe that visual effects technology is not up to the high standard that many moviegoers, myself included, are expecting. See. Again, these are all minor nitpicks that really didn't take away from my overall enjoyment of the feature. Final thoughts: Jean Erso and crew of Rouge One ventured deep into enemy territory to save the galaxy in the new movie Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Director Gareth Edwards' first spin-off film to the popular franchise succeeds on multiple levels, serving up plenty of fan service moments, but also honors film sagas past and present, with Episode 8 and 9 coming out in following years as it paves its way for the future solo movies. With a plethora of action, tension, drama, and overall blockbuster fun without it becoming mindless, Rogue One is an excellent way to recapture the old Star Wars magic in a compelling, edgier, and theatrical way. Yes, there's some minor nitpicks to be had, but the positive definitely outweigh its minuscule negatives. Personally, I loved it. I'll even admit it that I like it more than I did The Force Awakens. It was entertaining, engaging, and dramatic, and, basically, it was everything I wanted from this movie and then some. So, of course, I'm going to give this film my highly recommended staple of approval. Whatever you take away from this movie, there's no denying that Rogue One, a Star Wars story, represents the start of the something new and exciting for this beloved sci-fi universe, showcasing that, if Lucasfilms Disney keeps these movies fresh and creative and not just a quick big dollar cash and grab, then these spin-offs theatrical films will have longevity long after the Roman numeral entries are done and completed. The Roman numeral entries are done. Thanks for watching.